Tonight on News Prime, President Tinubu says Nigeria's worst days are over. In business, the strike continues as federal government meeting with Pengassin, Dangote ends in deadlock. And on the foreign scene, UK Prime Minister vows to fight for decent Britain. In sports, Nigeria bids host 2030 Commonwealth Games, eyes economic sporting transformation. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. President Bola Tinubu has declared that Nigeria's most difficult days are behind it, assuring citizens that the country is on the path to sustain progress. The president made this on Tuesday during a one-day working visit to Imo State, where he commissioned Governor Hope Uzodima's legacy projects, including Owerri-Umuahia Road, Azumta Flyover, and the Emmanuel Iwanyanwu International Conference Center in the state capital. Highlighting recent economic progress, Tinubu noted that the nation's gross domestic product grew by 4.23% at the end of the second quarter of 2025, while inflation dropped to 20.1% from 24.5% at the start of the year. 65 years after independence, education in Nigeria tells a mixed story, one of progress, mixed opportunity, and enduring hope. Global Television Priscilla Obasi examined lessons through the past years and how they can reshape the future of education in Nigeria.
Over the decades, Nigeria has moved from colonial-era schools that trained civil servants to mass education drives aimed at expanding access for all children. The creation of WAEC, JAM, and NECO gave structures to examinations, while the Universal Basic Education Policy promised every child 9 years of free schooling. Yet, with over 10 million out-of-school children, underfunded schools, and repeated strikes, challenges remain as glaring as ever.
I feel the quality of education in the public sector is poor because they don't have access to good infrastructure. The quality of teachers in the public sector is not as good. So I will encourage the government to pay more attention to the public sector.
So the quality of education we're experiencing presently is as a result of the input that the government has made in the educational sector. And that's why about 2 or 3 years ago, statistics had it that over 75% of Nigerian graduates are unemployable. And why is that? Because they lack the requisite skills and that is needed for them to be employed.
The rise of technology, private schools, and international collaborations are opening new frontiers. Still, education insists Nigeria must learn from its uneven past if it hopes to prepare for a knowledge-driven future.
The government needs to intervene in terms of funding because education is money. You cannot do education properly without money. When you go and recruit school dropouts, people who graduated secondary school and make them teachers, you cannot give what you don't have. So first of all, you need well-trained teachers, well-paid teachers to get the best.
On this Independence Day, one message rings clear to government. Education is not just a social service, but the backbone of national development.
The
problems are not far-fetched from the fact that insecurity is ravaging the entire country. People are no longer interested in investing into education. Those who are in the system are running a loss already, and then people are not really being encouraged to actually venture into studying to a higher level.
As Nigeria looks ahead, the call is for policies that go beyond promises towards classrooms that truly prepare young people for life, work, and citizenship. Priscilla Obasi, Global Television News.
As Nigeria is set to look and clock 65 of independence, the nation appears to have found itself reflecting on decades of repeated challenges. From Kano, Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin takes a look at how Nigerians are struggling to survive 65 years after the nation got its independence.
Nigeria is marking 65 years of independence, an anniversary attracting mixed feeling of pride and a fair share of questions. From political instability and corruption to insecurity and persistent high cost of living, Nigeria is still facing some of the same old problems.
It's just change of government, change of people, sometimes the same people routine, come back and go. It's just the same lady changing clothes, so I don't see any difference.
Sincerely speaking, from grassroots Nigeria, we don't have any development in terms of any sectors, in terms of economy, agriculture, security, a lot of things.
Residents in Kano say creating jobs and feeding the poor, as well as the more recent and more brutal challenges of insecurity, are still threatening the nation's socio-economic growth and development.
As a Nigerian, so I don't see any something like achievement, because a poor man of Nigeria is suffering food, clothes. There's no any achievement.
Despite these disturbing challenges, many Nigerians are still hopeful the people will collectively confront their challenges for the overall development of the country.
We are hoping for the best, because so far so good. There is a lot of changes, which are when it comes to the ministerials, the National House of Assembly and the senatorial. There are some certain people that we have seen so far, they are doing good. So we expect one day, one combination, we will have a very big commitment.
As far as the nation is concerned, this is a thought of a strategic thinking that evoke hope of a brighter future for Nigeria. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
Senators urge state governors in the North Central Zone to donate office space to support smooth operationalization of the North Central Development Commission as it commences its activities. This appeal came during the 2025 budget defense interface between the Senate Committee and the Commission's board in Abuja. Topsy Gimba has details.
The committee chaired by Senator Titus Zam, President Nasarawa State, where the Commission's headquarters is located, for donating office space and encourage other states to follow example. During budget defense, the Commission Managing Director Thingyao Yilten presented a detailed budget proposal of 140 billion naira, highlighting plans to incorporate alternative energy sources to address the region's persistent power outages. Mr. Yilten reaffirmed the Commission's commitment, building strong partnerships with all stakeholders to drive sustainable and effective regional development.
This is a 2025 budget fiscal year that was handed to us as an envelope. And that is why we thought it wise to really break it down into actionable and cost centers. So for the period of this presentation, it is for the 2025 fiscal year.
On security issues, he identified tackling insecurity as a top priority for the Commission's initial activities. He also updated the Senate that the recruitment of 200 staff members awaits approval from the head of service, marking a significant step towards full operational capacity.
The total expenditure envelope that was given to us is 140 billion. We are proposing before this committee a personnel cost of 2,920 million. which is made up of the salary for our staff at the Commission of 2,023,400,000.
The Senate Committee expressed strong support for the Commission's vision, urging swift action to ensure its programs deliver tangible benefits to the North Central people.
And so, going forward, I think that our focus should be, what do we do to mitigate the consequences of insecurity in our zone? So we must not be left behind.
Senators from that zone must be taken into account, must be taken along. I know these are challenging needs. There are challenging needs. These are very challenging times, particularly the security aspect in northern Nigeria, particularly North Central.
The Senate's unified position reflects a collective commitment to fast-track and Commission's work aiming to stimulate socio-economic growth and stability throughout the North Central states. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
The All Progressive Congress, APC, has inaugurated two grassroots mobilization movements to enlighten Nigerians on the policies of President Bola Tinubu and how they are changing the lives of citizens. Our political correspondent, Ubon Usoro, reports.
The Renewed Hope grassroots movement brought together leaders, mobilizers and stakeholders of the APC in Abuja to push forward the agenda of the Tinubu's administration at the grassroots level. The initiative is aimed at bridging the gap between government and citizens by creating awareness of ongoing reforms and policies that directly impact communities across Nigeria. The national leader of the group, Isaac Ude, mentioned that the group will work to galvanize support for the APC in all elections.
This event marks the beginning of a new era in grassroots political engagement and people-centered governance in our great country, Nigeria.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Political and Economic Affairs Office, Engineer Nadugo Gagara, reiterated government's commitment to inclusivity and grassroots development.
It is only when communities embrace government programs and contribute to their implementation that we can achieve the desired impact.
Organizers of the movement say the launch is part of wider efforts to ensure that Nigerians feel the direct benefits of the Tinubu's administration, especially at the community level. Ubon Usoro, reporting for Global Television.
Director General of the Bureau of Public Service Reform, Dr. Dasoki Ibrahim Arabi, says the strict adherence to due process and procurement laws remains essential to safeguarding public resources, as over 517 government institutions undergo a fresh round of assessment. Global Television will bring you the details in our subsequent bulletin. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has intensified its commitment to infrastructural development with the official flag-off of the Access Road Project Area Road ST from Green Road 2 to the FCT Fire Service Station in Kaura District, including a 3-span bridge. Kabir Hassan reports. We bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. Ahead of the 2026 Hajj operation, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, that is NACON, has inaugurated a committee for the screening of tour operators. The inauguration took place at the Hajj House headquarters of the commissions in Abuja. A statement issued by Adeshawa Rashidat Kako, NACON's Information and Publications Officer, noted that the committee comprises management staff of the commission alongside other key members, including representatives from the Secretariat. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime. When News Prime returns, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer vows to fight for decent Britain. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Now let's take you to the world of business. After 9 hours of intensive negotiation at a high-level conciliation meeting between the federal government, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, and the Dangote Group ended in a deadlock, leaving the fate of over 800 sacked workers hanging in the balance and the ongoing nationwide industrial action unresolved. The meeting, convened by the federal government to avert further destruction to Nigeria's energy sector, was attended by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Megeri Dakiadi, Bengasin delegates led by its President, Comrade Festus Osifo, and top representatives of the Dangote Group. Speaking to journalists after the meeting, Comrade Osifo expressed deep disappointment over the failure to reach an agreement, stressing that the union's position remained firm on the immediate reinstatement of the 800 workers dismissed by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. The federal government has inaugurated an ISO fraud control management system to strengthen business integrity and boost investment confidence in Nigeria. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, represented by Jachima Agu, Deputy Director, Reforms at the Ministry, performed the inauguration in Abuja, where Oduwole described the initiative as a landmark step in aligning Nigeria's economic reforms with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. The Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate has announced that start of implementation of the new pension increments for pensioners under the defined benefit scheme, saying the adjustment will be reflected in the September 2025 payroll cycle. In a statement signed by management and posted on its X handle, the Directorate said the increased package includes a fixed 32,000 naira payment alongside percentage increase of 10.66% and 12.95% for eligible categories, which will benefit about 832,000 pensioners under its management scheme. Now on the foreign scene, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has urged Labour Party members to keep faith as he defended a multicultural Britain during a speech to his party's annual conference that sought to allay questions over his leadership. Struggling to fight off soaring support for the hard-right party, Reform UK, Starmer told the gathering in Liverpool, Northwest England, that he would fight for a tolerant, decent and respectful Britain. Over to Uli Abumofwebe for details.
Starmer stated that the United Kingdom stands at a fork in the road between renewal offered by Labour, elected to power in July last year, or grievance offered by Reform, led by anti-immigrant firebrand Nigel Farage, likening it to a battle for the soul of the country.
We can all see that the country faces a choice, a defining choice. Britain stands at a fork in the road. We can choose decency, or we can choose division, renewal or decline. A country proud of its values, in control of its future, or one that succumbs against the grain of our history to the politics of grievance. It is a test, a fight for the soul of our country, every bit as big as rebuilding Britain after the war. And we must all rise to this challenge.
Starmer has only been in power 14 months, during which his popularity has plummeted, leaving the centre-left party lagging well behind reform in polls and causing growing speculation about how long he might remain in the role. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
As the war in Gaza nears its fourth year, a faint glimmer of hope is emerging. The Hamas is currently reviewing a ceasefire proposal that has already been approved by United States President Donald Trump. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, for many Palestinians exhausted by years of conflict, the deal has sparked cautious optimism. The proposed agreement includes a potential ceasefire and the release of hostages one-sided. Meanwhile, in Israel, visitors to the Nova Music Festival Memorial, site of a deadly Hamas attack in 2023, say they too feel the weight of history. Turkey says it plans to join a meeting of the Gaza mediation team in Doha amid diplomatic movement created after United States President Donald Trump presented a 20-point plan to end the devastating war. Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesman Majid Al-Ansari stated this as a news conference, stating that Turkey now stands as part of the United States initiative and is collaborating closely on it. He confirmed that officials from Hamas received the full text of the U.S. plan and have promised to responsibly examine it and respond. And now let's take you to the world of sport, where five-time world champions Nigerian Golden Eaglets will tackle the Black Starlets of Ghana in the second semi-final of the ongoing WAFOB Under-17 Championship at the State Charles Konan Bani, Ivory Coast. A year after failing to reach the final of the last edition, which cost them a place at the 2025 Under-17 AFCON and by extension, the expanded FIFA Under-17 World Cup. The team now face another stern test to make the showpiece. Nigeria is making a historic push to host the centenary Commonwealth Games in 2030, a move expected to boost the nation's economy, infrastructure, and global profile. The Games are projected to create over 10,000 jobs across construction, tourism, and event management. New sport halls, conference centers, and improved road network are also part of the infrastructural gains. However, the hospitality and service industries are set to benefit as hotel, restaurant, and local businesses prepare to serve thousands of visitors. The Games are also expected to accelerate grassroots sports development and inspire new athletic talents. The South African Football Association says it will lodge a formal appeal against the 3-point deduction and fine sanction against it by FIFA for fielding an illegitimate player, Teboho Makona, during their 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho in March. South Africa, who led the qualifying Group C, which also has Benin Republic and Nigeria, will dock 3 points by FIFA. Atletico Madrid manager Diego Simeone has been given a one-match ban for unsporting conduct by UEFA following his clash with Liverpool supporters at Anfield. After Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk scored a 92nd minute winner in Atletico's 3-2 defeat, Simeone reacted after he appeared to be goaded by a small number of home fans. The Argentine complained to the fourth official with a number of stewards positioned between him and the Liverpool supporters. That's it on Global TV News Prime, and here is a recap of our top stories. In business, and foreign scene in sports. Now, before we bring Global TV News Prime to a close, a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on the screen using @Global TV NG. I am Ramsey Enoch Abu. Thank you for watching.